Hey everybody, it's me, Randy from The Draw, and welcome to Back in Time. What is Back in Time exactly? Back in Time is a collection of the best wrestling interviews in the industry from the past. From Sunday night's main event with Jason Agnew, Huge Pop Radio, as well as the Hub Sports Entertainment. If you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, and follow down below. Give a comment or two. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like about the show and what you remember. So let's start it off. It is July 9th, 2018, and Jason Agnew from Sunday night's main event is sitting down with one of the most controversial WCW champions of all time, Mr. David Arquette. He is lacing his boots after 18 years, coming back to wrestle. And he's going to be going against one of his good friends, RJ City. He sits down with Jason to talk about his time in WCW and his upcoming match. So go grab yourself a nice beverage, sit down, and take a listen to Jason Agnew, one of the best interviews in the wrestling business, as he sits down with David Arquette. This is Back in Time.
4 letters, 1 word. G.
Kimberly went down in a heap.
There's no referee, guys.
There's a referee. He's over towards Arquette. 1, 2, 3.
What?
What is it? Did David Arquette just...
What's going on here?
David Arquette won the world title.
We're not gonna take it anymore.
Joining Sunday night's main event now, a well-known actor and producer in the real world. But to wrestling fans, well, we know him as the star of the 2000 film Ready to Rumble, which led to him becoming the most controversial and perhaps hated WCW champion of all time after he pinned Eric Bischoff for the title on April 25th, 2000. Now, he's about to make a comeback to the world of wrestling. His first singles match in 18 years. He'll be facing RJ City July 15th at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. David Arquette, welcome to Sunday night's main event.
Hey, thank you for having me, Jason, and I'm honored to be here.
Well, I got to ask you, David. I mean, we'll go back in time and we'll touch on WCW and the stuff that you did back then, but you've kind of been out of the wrestling game for a while, and I think a lot of wrestling fans and people in general are just wondering, why make this return now?
Well, I've been part of the wrestling game, just watching it for the past 8 years. I've been on and off, but the reason I'm coming back now is because people have still been attacking me after 18 years. Like the worst thing in the world. Like recently, IHOP changed its name to IHOB or whatever, and they said that one of Bubba Dudley's wrote, "That's a worse idea than making David Arquette the champion." Like I'm literally the butt of all jokes. So I want to bring some respect back to my name. Take care of some of these people talking trash about me, and step up my game. Start from the bottom. I've been studying, so I really am going to know a lot better what I'm doing in there than I did the first round.
Well, I mean, and, you are the butt of a lot of jokes. You do realize that. You're probably the most hated WCW champion of all time.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm sure it's very apparent to you from being on social media now, which you didn't have back in 2000. So now you're really getting all the hate afterwards. How did that even come about? I mean, you starred in Ready to Rumble, which was a WCW co-pro, and how did they approach you to say, like, hey, let's get you in the ring?
I think I did one sort of jump in the ring thing, and it just got a huge pop. People were really into it. And they thought, wow, this is getting a lot of attention. Let's bring them on and have them on for a while and really sort of, see where this goes. So I don't know. I didn't know the intensity of sort of obviously I knew the tradition and how amazing, the history of the belt is. But I just didn't know that people wouldn't take it in stride and be like, oh, this is a fun storyline, not like this is, ruining the history of this belt, which I never intended to do. So that was a little upsetting that it went in that direction. But, you live and learn.
Well, David, I mean, you said now you've been on and off watching the world of wrestling now. Walking into it at that time and, being a part of Ready to Rumble, then getting into WCW, what did you come at it with? Were you a wrestling fan growing up?
I was, yeah. I saw Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant at the Los Angeles Sports Arena when I was younger. We used to see all the road shows whenever they'd come to town. During that period, Junkyard Dog and, Hacksaw Jim Duncan and all those crazy cats. So we loved wrestling. I mean, Macho Man was my homeboy, and getting to work with those guys was like a dream come true for a wrestling fan. I was like having conversations with Macho Man, and he's like, "Yeah, well, brother, it's, he was doing this whole thing. Well, we're just talking. Like, where do you live? I live in Florida. Ooh." But, it was just amazing. And it's such a thrill. So I still say, like, there's a lot of marks that are in the business and that are wrestlers as well. But I'm the first fan that became a champion. Hashtag fan champion.
So let me ask you about that. You're doing your WCW thing, and all of a sudden, it's who does come to you? Is it Russo or is it Bischoff that comes to you and says, "Listen, David, we like this. We like the way this is going. This will be good for the company. We want to put the title on you." How does that conversation go?
Bischoff wasn't like Russo was like calling the shots essentially at that time. I mean, Bischoff was. It was this weird time where AOL, Time Warner, and this whole takeover was going down, and people weren't like crazy about wrestling within some of the sort of Hollywood background of it. So I think they had something happened. I just recently read Bischoff's book, which was amazing and really sort of gave me a lot of insight about what was going on. They sort of edged him out at one point, and he went away and went camping and hung out with his family. Then he came back, but Russo was doing his thing. So he's kind of like, allowing Russo to sort of be the head writer and call the shots. So I believe it was Russo's call, essentially. I mean, there was a room where a bunch of people sort of decided it. I wasn't in that room. But when they approached me, I was like, do you guys think this is a good idea? And they were like, is it going to be great? We're going to get a lot of publicity and da-da-da. And we sure have gotten a lot of publicity for it. It's that storyline's still alive, even though the company isn't. And I don't really think you can blame me or Russo, anyone really, for the fact that WCW isn't around anymore. I think it still could be if someone wanted to bring it back. But WWE owns it, and I think they're doing well with the reruns. And WWE Network is amazing, so I don't blame them. But I still think it's a shame that the belt doesn't come back in some form. Because you can have the WWE belt, and you could still have this, iconic belt come back. I love what 10 Pounds of Gold is doing with NWA. That's an amazing storyline that David Lagana's and Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan. So is that what you're watching right now? Is that what you're into? You're more so into the indie scene, and that's why you're diving in here?
Mainly, I'm into the LA indie scene.
Right.
There's a lot of amazing wrestlers here. We're doing other things with Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, which also goes back. I mean, if you Google Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, you could see Gorgeous George Wrestling, which is one of my personal old-time favorites, even though, I'm getting to know him better through, Google now than I ever did when I was a kid.
So, I mean, a lot of people, just touching back on, and we'll move on from it, but just touching back on you getting the title, you mentioned that fans are now, there's such backlash on social media, and that's the culture that we live in. When you were given that title, and this was proposed to you, and you got it, what was the reaction of the locker room? Because there's a lot of guys that have spent all their lives working for that, and you walked in and you got it. What was the feedback there?
Yeah, there was a lot of hatred and a lot of, people got so pissed off. I remember telling one wrestler, I'm not sure who it was. It wasn't Bam Bam Bigelow, but it was someone who hadn't ever been the champion before. And he was just so pissed. I don't know what to say, man. That was my first inkling on how sort of upset people were going to get. And obviously, I get it. I mean, these people dedicate their lives. I have nothing but respect for wrestlers. To this day, I haven't taken a dime for wrestling. So,
David, let's talk about that, actually. Let's talk about that. You said you haven't taken a dime from wrestling, and this is a fact that a lot of people don't know, is that anything that you were paid for working with WCW and anything from working with wrestling, where did all that money go?
Well, it wasn't supposed to be talked about. I think you mentioned it one time just to sort of ball some of the hatred toward me. But, we donated it to Brian Pillman, part to Brian Pillman's family and Jaws and one other person. I'm not exactly, I can't recall. We just sort of split it up.
So it's funny because, you're doing this and you're doing a good thing with where you're putting the proceeds, but still to this day, this has lived on and there's a ton of hate coming at you. So is part of this just the resurgence with social media and it being brought up into your face once again?
I guess so, but I think there's still a lot of stuff about it, and I get it. I've just been training for about a little more than a month now, and I get it. I mean, it's painful. It's intense. It takes a ton of hard work. These people go in and out every day, working on themselves and working on their craft, and so I get it. I don't know. I just, I had a really interesting experience in people meeting, the fans seeing me and meeting me, and they tend to sort of feel different about it once they sort of see that my heart's in the right place. I want to respect the business. I always respected the business. I just sort of had an opportunity that I think a lot of people would have sort of made the same decision if they were in that situation. It was sort of a dream come true for me. So I was like, wow, yeah, this is amazing. And, it's part of my history now. So I just literally am loving learning chain wrestling, learning different, moves and different sort of philosophy behind it, and, constructing matches and stuff like that. It's really remarkable when you get into the nuts and bolts and sort of start meeting all these different people that PPA all day. Peter Avalon is my trainer, and he's been really helping me. And I even took one lesson from the Santino brothers, Tyler Bateman over there. It's been really great just getting to know these different people.
So how much are you training now? Because you're still working in the world of television and doing a whole bunch of things in the world of media. How often do you get to get into the ring and work with all these guys that you're talking about?
Well, I'm working every day. I do jiu-jitsu, I do boxing. I have a wrestling ring in my backyard now. I do my rolls and my running on the ropes every day.
So you're back on July the 15th and you're wrestling RJ City. I got to ask, why RJ? How did this come about?
He's just such a stinker. I don't know. He's just so cocky.
How did you two even come across each other?
Me and RJ, we met. I became aware of him through my friend Ben Joseph, who's a fellow Toronto writer that I work with a lot in developing sort of different shows and whatnot. And he's always sort of sending me different matches and different things I should be up on. And I just saw this guy, and he's into like a lot of Hollywood sort of show tunes, and B. Arthur is a big aspect of his sort of passion, which is just so random. And I was like, what the heck is going on with this guy? And so I don't know, I just sort of thought he was funny. And then he started attacking me on Twitter. And then I was like, all right, enough's enough. This Nancy boy wants to, get real. Let's do it. Sort of sick of people thinking I'm a punk. That was one of my problems when I was wrestling. I mean, I grew up as a little, I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but I don't back down, from a fight or whatever. So to sort of be there and always be like the butt of a joke, or, you know, when I was wrestling, no one wanted to get beat up by me, so I was always sort of getting beat up, and somebody would roll me on top of them or whatever. I wasn't allowed to, like, hit anybody really, or they weren't supposed to hurt me. I don't know what the problem was. But I want to get scrappy now. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready for my spray tan, and I'm getting in shape.
I love how spray tan made its way right into your regiment.
Yeah, put me in some tights and, you know, grease me up. I'm ready to go.
All right, well, that is going to be happening. Both of them well spray tanned on July 15th. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Check out HollywoodWrestling.com. David, really appreciate you taking time out and making your way back to the world of wrestling. All the best, man.
So that was Jason Agnew and David Arquette talking a little sun tanning. Why is that relevant this week? Well, today is June 27th, 2025, and spray tanning is very relevant. And why did I pick this interview? Because of the conversation with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes on So What Do You Want to Talk About this week? And I found it pretty relevant to this conversation, and why not start it off? David Arquette, one of the most controversial WCW champions of all time. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, and comment below. We have a Patreon. I'm not asking to sign up on any tiers. I'm just asking to sign up for free, and that's at The Draw on Patreon. That's patreon.com/The Draw. Go join for free. And we have plenty other great shows here on the Hub Sports Entertainment, like the Smack Daddies with Father Greg and Brad the Dad, as well as the Dynamite Drop with Sean Burkhead and Ashley. Go like and listen to them. And I can't forget about our show with my buddy, Eric B. And that's me, Randy C. as well. And that's Draw Straws Raw, every Tuesday here on the Hub Sports Entertainment. So again, this is me, Randy, from The Draw. This is Back in Time. I hope you enjoyed the show. And stay tuned. Next week, we're going to have another doozy. It's going to be relevant to what's talking. So I hope you enjoyed your show. And always remember, live, laugh, and love wrestling.